Welcome to my studio. As artists, obviously we use tools all the time to achieve results that we want. Some are common tools, of course, the brush, the palette knife, and some other tools tend to be exotic in ways. Some are personal and we create them because we want to achieve specific results or use a specific technique that requires them. Others are more common and all artists use them in one way or another. What I want to do in the next few videos is to share with you the tools that I use in my studio. Again, some of them are going to be common that you've heard of or used yourselves, and some are going to be different. Some are going to be things that I've created myself, and you're welcome to use them as well if they're ideas that you want to use. Either way, let's go take a look through my studio, pick up some tools, and see what we can end up with. Come on, let's go. Let's talk about wash brushes or mop brushes or quills, all names for the same kind of brush. These are either synthetic or very thin hair brushes. They use mostly squirrel hair for these on the more expensive ones, but you can get synthetics as well that do the same job. Very thin hair that holds a lot of water, lots of hair in these tufts, and they hold as much as 10 times the amount of water that a regular brush the same size holds. They're very good for doing washes. We'll see that in a second. Let's talk about them a bit more. They come, with a tuft like this, obviously at the top. The tuft is glued together and then tied with these little metal ties around a plastic or animal-based round ferrule, I guess is what we would call it. The metal one is called the ferrule, on the handle. The reason why they have that, the reason why they have these ties is because these brushes hold so much water and are used with lots and lots of water. They tend to have they tend to just expand and contract a lot. This is a very, very old one that I've had for many, many years. And you can see how the expansion and contraction, along with the wood doing the same thing, has made those bubbles in the handle. This is still perfectly all right and can be used. What will happen with these, if you have them for a bit of time, is that this whole thing will become loose a bit. It will loosen up. Again, because of the way that they contract and they expand, they loosen up a bit. And that's why these ties are there, so that when they do loosen up, what you can do is lift this metal piece a bit like this, and just with a tool, just tighten it up just one or half a turn, not a lot, because you don't want to break these metals. You just want to tighten it up just a bit. You don't have to do all of them. You can do one or two depending where the looseness is. If the hair is loose, then you tie it up here. If the whole ferrule and hair are loose, then you tighten one of these two. And essentially what starts to happen over time is you get those bumps because you're sort of tightening and it's expanding anyway. Anyway, these are really good for doing washes, and I'm going to basically show you. As you can see, they hold so much water, and let me get a bit more color so we can see it. They hold a lot of water, and the way that you use them is you sort of fill them up completely with whatever they can suck up. And don't do this, okay? If you're touching it to the side of the container, you're just losing all the effect and the purpose of this brush. It's supposed to hold all as much as it can before you go on. Now you can let it drip a couple of times like that, and then take it to the paper and begin your wash, okay? And you want to use that bead and pull it down. Okay, always point it in the direction that you're going. But they give you beautiful washes. And of course you can use them for other purposes as well. You can use them to do shapes and things like that. They do have a nice point to them, but they don't bounce like the synthetics or the um, Kolinsky hairs do. They tend to, um, once you press them, they tend to just stay flat. Not this one, but the others do. Um, but that's what they're for. They're mostly for doing washes. They're mostly for uh, painting large passages, and working wet on wet. They're excellent for that purpose. So you should have at least one of these in your arsenal of brushes. It doesn't have to be very large. This is a size 6, I think. There's a size 4, whatever. You can even go smaller if you want to. This is a size 2. There's size 0. So there are lots of different sizes. Go ahead and decide, based on how large you paint, what size you want. But you should have one of these at least in your arsenal because they're very useful.